Today I'm doing my March update. Now, March actually started off pretty good. I was doing really well with all of my challenges, and then lockdown kicked in again. And so here in Rome, pretty much all of Italy really, became a red zone again, which meant everybody at home and kids back to doing online lessons instead of actually going to school, and that kind of slowed me down quite a bit. So also because my youngest son, one of his teachers ended up having COVID, and so we had to do complete isolation for I think it was 10 days doing it. So we didn't leave the house at all for that period, not even for a little walk down in the park by our house. And so it kind of messed up my challenges a little bit, but I've been doing good. I'm considering this a good month despite the whole curveballs coming at me. Luckily today my kids are back at school, so yay, hopefully April's going to be a good one. But anyway, my challenges. So first off, let's talk about I'm doing the blog audit challenge. If you could see that, which is a challenge which I created, which is all about improving blog, basically. So there's different challenges for each month, different focuses. The focus for March was on branding. So it was basically a two-part thing for the tasks this month. So it was looking at like the blog niche and how you want to be known, and the best keywords that fit with the content you're putting out, and also the best adjectives that would describe you and your brand doing it. So anyway, I did pretty good with those, but I've been doing this for a very long time. As someone recently pointed out on one of my YouTube videos, I've been on YouTube for over 8 years now. I've actually been blogging for over 14 years now. I've been doing this for a while, but always learning and always doing new stuff, and it's always fun because I look at it like the first thing about it, why am I still doing it after all of these years? Because I like doing it. It's fun. It's a hobby for me as well, and I find it interesting. I love reading books. I love experimenting with social media and blogging, and I love writing, and why not just combine all of those things and do me? So that's what I'm doing. Anyway, for those of you that wonder why I'm still doing it after all of these years, because I like doing it. That's why. But anyway, so the first part was all about that, and then the second part, obviously, when you talk about branding, the aesthetics has to come into it as well. So there was a bit about how you're presenting like the graphics on your site and on social media as well, because obviously it flows over, and so the general design of your brand, and making sure that the graphics and things that you have match the content that you're putting out as well, and the general feel for the brand, what you want it to be. So that was the first one. I'm also doing the social media challenge this year. Now, again, this is another one that I've created. Because I've been doing the blog audit challenge. I've done it several years now, and it seems to go down really well. So doing that, and seeing as I'm constantly trying to improve my own blog, and so I go back in and I update like older content and things like that, and the new changes to algorithms and everything, I try to like keep it up to date and stuff. So I'm constantly doing it, and it's just fun to have other people join in and do it at the same time, and we can all learn from each other and stuff. So it's not just me sharing what I've learned over like 14 years of doing it. It's me wanting to learn from other people as well and their experiences of for however long they've been doing it, because a lot of the time people that are new to blogging and stuff, they can teach an old dog new tricks too. So so I really like doing that. Anyway, so for the social media challenge, March's focus was on consistency. So in this, we're obviously talking about, again, the aesthetics. So making sure I have like the same avatar on all of my social medias, so I'm immediately recognizable. Also like the banners and things on my profiles to make sure they're all on brand as well. So basically it just means that when someone comes across one of my channels, they know that it's me. So yeah, there's that aspect of it. But also consistency in posting. Now, this is something that I'm trying to work on a lot more, because like life is always throwing curveballs. And so I try to schedule at least some stuff in advance so that, I have more consistent presence on social media. Something that I've been trying to do here on the channel is I'm making sure that I upload a new video every Tuesday at 10 a.m. That's like my base goal, that I have at least one new video going up every Tuesday at 10 a.m. To try and make sure that I'm having the consistent content, because if I'm not scheduling slightly in advance, then sometimes something will come up and I won't manage to film, or I won't be able to get it up in time. That I think that happens to a lot of people, regardless your situation, particularly during the pandemic, and being a mum as well. It happens a lot. So to be able to have a little bit of peace and quiet, to be able to actually sit down and do some filming, or even have time to sit down and read without being interrupted, is like a miracle. Because like when the kids are home, even if they are doing their online learning and so occupied by their teachers, there's still like technical difficulties. So I have to go over and make sure the connection's okay and the microphone's working and this and that. And sometimes my youngest one, he's in elementary school, and sometimes he has like a little meltdown. If the smallest thing isn't working, or he can't see it, or he missed something the teacher said, then he'll go into like full on panic and stuff. So, most of my morning is occupied by that. And because they're both connected at the same time in different rooms and things, my youngest is using my computer because he doesn't have his own computer yet. My eldest has his own computer, so he uses that. But so I can actually get on my own computer in the morning to do stuff for me, for my challenges and things. So anyway, it's a lot easier trying to schedule stuff in advance and have an actual, not uploading necessarily every single day to all of the platforms, but at least having, several times a week, or in this case once a week, but on a fixed date and time, so that it's more consistent. Anyway, so that was that. I'm doing quite well. I'm very much improving. I've also been programming my stuff for my Facebook page, and also for Instagram via my Facebook page, because there's this new thing where you can schedule them both through Facebook. So that actually saves me time, which is awesome. Interesting thing that's coming up is that Instagram gets so many more views and likes and things than the Facebook page does, even if I'm sharing the same content to them both at the same time. Instagram seems to have a very much higher rate of interaction on it. So anyway, that for my other things. Now, moving on to my reading challenges. Now, I'm doing okay. I'm quite pleased with this. I have started, let's start with the ones that I have in process at the moment. Now, I've had this book, British Greats, for years. It's something that I bought, I think it was very early on having moved out to Italy when I went back to England, and so this was a book from back then. So we're talking like 20 years that I've had this book, and I have dipped into it before, but I've never read the whole thing. So I decided that I would give myself the mission to read through this book, and it's really, really interesting. This is also because spending a lot of screen time, I'm trying to avoid spending so much screen time, but most of my books are ebooks, which I read on my Kindle, so I'm on the screen. So I wanted to try and read some more paperback stuff as well. So this one, and it's really interesting. It starts off, you've got like the defeat of the Spanish Armada, which was very interesting, the first chapter. And then there was the poetry of W.H. Audit, which is really interesting. And I definitely want to check out some more of his poetry. It's something that, these little snippets, and I've never read his stuff. And I feel like I should, having read about him in this, so that's on my list now. Then there was about the novels of Jane Austen, which obviously I am quite familiar with, and I'm sure you are as well. So I didn't really learn anything new from that chapter, but it has reminded me that I still have Jane Austen books, which I own, which I haven't read yet, and so I need to rectify that, definitely. I think the most interesting chapter that there was so far, which got me particularly, was the one about the legends of Arthur. Okay, now we all know about the legend of King Arthur and, you know, the Knights of the Round Table and Merlin and, you know, all that kind of jazz. I didn't realise like quite how far back the story goes, and it was really, really interesting. I also didn't realise like quite how international this story is, you know, considering it's talking about a king of England. So like the fact that it has origins in like Welsh poetry and stuff, and then the French versions of it and stuff, and then the various different English versions, which basically every time that it's been rewritten, it's had elements added to it. So like Merlin, for example, he was quite a late addition to the story, really. And even the Knights of the Round Table was, you know, quite a later version, considering that this actually goes back, the story goes back like over 2,000 years. So I learned a lot of new stuff about something which I thought I knew a lot about. So yeah, that was really interesting. So I'm looking forward to reading the other stuff in here as well, because it's really mixed, but also really good so far. Now I have another book which I'm in the process of reading, which is this one right here, which I got off NetGalley, Evolving Eliza. Initiation. Now this is very different from the sort of books that I normally read. I think I'm about like 30% in now. It's quite good. It's quite good. It's definitely not my usual selection, but I am enjoying it. It's basically in the future, so we have people who are living down on Earth. We have the new generation people who so far are being portrayed very much as like the bad guys. And then we have the people that are living out in space on Grow 3, which is like this big sphere spaceship and stuff. And yeah, so there's the main conflict between these, and then we have Liz, who is our main character, who's basically between the two. She's just being her, and she gets into some trouble with the decisions. She's trying to make the right decisions for herself and for everybody, and sometimes that gets her into trouble. But anyway, yeah, so far it's not bad. It's not bad. I am enjoying it. I'm listening to an audiobook, which is for Abby's Letters, which is this one right here. Now, this is one that I've been listening to. I generally, the only time I listen to audiobooks in general is when I'm doing the ironing. So I get out the ironing and I listen to the audiobook on my phone whilst I'm doing the ironing. So I've been doing this one. I'm almost finished with it now. It's quite good. It's quite good. I'm still deciding about it, despite the fact of being nearly done with it. But it is good. It is good. The narration's good as well, and very easy to follow whilst doing the ironing. So there's that. Now onto the books that I actually read and completed. So they're my in progress stuff. Then we have the ones that I read. The first one that I read was Confessions of a Curious Bookseller, which is this one right here by Elizabeth Green. This one I gave a 3-star. For this one, it was quite good. It had nice elements. It was nice to have an older protagonist in it, and also a character that you love to hate kind of thing. It was different, and it has a big focus on bookshops and reading and books in general and stuff, so that definitely got extra points from me as well. Then I read what is actually 3 books in the one book, which is 3 Cold Hours here. Now, these are actually available as 3 different books. Okay, so you can read them as 3 different books, which would be Poison in the Pond, The Unheard, and Strange Legacy. So you can read them as separate. I've got all 3 of them together. Again, this was a NetGalley one that I got. Collection, very creepy. Very creepy. All 3 of them. The first 2 I really, really loved. Really, really loved. They were 5-star. The last one was okay. So overall, for the collection of the 3, I gave it a 4-star thing. But if you like psychological thrillers that are way creepy, then that's one for you. Then the next one that I read, going back to one of my favourite authors, was Up to Date by Susan Hatler. If you've been following the channel, you know that I've read quite a lot of Susan Hatler books, just because she is a master in her little genre. So if you like nice, easy read romance, nothing too raunchy in there, keeping it clean, but a nice, quick read romance. She nails it. So there was that one. This one, though, in difference to some of her other stuff, this one I only gave a 3-star to, which I found this was weird, because normally reading her stuff, it would be a 4 or 5-star, guarantee. So this one was slightly lacking compared to her other stuff. For me, because I've read a lot of her other stuff, so I was expecting a lot. And this one fell a little short compared to the other stuff, but it was still good. So maybe if you're reading this one as a first time thing, then you might think it's better, because you're not comparing it to the other stuff, which was more better. Oh, that's incredibly bad English I just used. I apologize. Anyway, better. And then I read Journey to Paradise, which is this one right here. Now, this is a historical romance. It's about an expat. So this is post-war. They go from Britain to Singapore to live as expats. So you've got Miranda and her husband Jerry, and then you've got the whole traumas and everything they go through, and the settling in, and the being expats, and the post-war, and how women were treated differently than men back then. It has a whole load of stuff, and it's really good. And this is one of those books, you will see the full review for this, which I filmed. I can't remember when I've scheduled it to upload, but you will see that. It's one of those, I gave it a 3-star originally, but it's one of those books that has stayed with me, and I'm still thinking about it, despite now going on and moving and reading other ones and stuff. So it's one of those that kind of gets under your skin and things. So I'm thinking I might change it to a 4-star for that one anyway. So yeah, that was my March, which I'm quite pleased with, all things considered. So anyway, that's it for today. I would love to know how you are getting on with your challenges. Whilst I'm doing this, obviously in all of that as well, that gained me some letters for the A to Z reading challenge, and it's also gained me my book for March for number 3 of the clock challenge, which was 3 cold hours. So that gets me the 3 for that one as well. So I'm doing pretty good overall. I would love to find out how you're doing with your challenges at the moment. So if you're doing like blogging challenges or you're doing reading challenges, how your progress is going. Are you doing the same challenges that I'm doing? If so, I would love to hear from you even more, because then we can see how we're doing and we can root for each other as well. So anyway, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.